decided that I'm most comfortable writing about dive bars. So these are my favorite dive bars. The Jamestown Tavern is a dive bar. They have a horrible, ill-maintained jukebox, seedy, towny-type clientele, even during Marblehead's vacation or filled summer months. And their weekly entertainment rotates between the 311 cover band and one of Put-in-Bay's many faux Jimmy Buffett acts. You should like them on Facebook. It's endlessly entertaining. A good dive bar always has a pool table or darts. Jamestown Tavern has both. My first ever can of Natty Light, which took a grand 24 years to touch my lips, cost 50 cents. It was my bachelorette party, so my friends generously absorbed the cost. Everyone always told me how terrible Natty Light was, but they were wrong. It wasn't terrible. It actually didn't taste like anything. And there's almost no alcohol in it. I can't imagine why college kids who just want to get drunk feel the need to work that hard. I mean, it's inefficient. We started writing fake slogans for Natty Light. When I want to drink 100 beers in a night, I reach for Natty Light. And a twist on their actual slogan, taste is why you'll switch. We changed that to taste is why you'll bitch. Our second run was donated by a group of amicable Canadian sailors who happened to be in port for a few weeks and were just happy to look at things that weren't beards or floating fish carcasses. They shared their pizza, they bought more Natty Light for us, and they were impressed that I knew the names of some of the Canadian freighters. I used to work in the flats. One of them, like ex-American Idol rocker Bo Bice, followed us to the next dive bar. Thankfully, it didn't turn into much of a story. We were briefly followed by a long-haired Canadian sailor. We took a circuitous route back to the cottage and we never spoke of it again. Just kidding, we talk about it all the time. I can't remember the name of this dive down the street with swings and things in Olmsted Falls, but they had carpeted floors, a jukebox full of Alice Cooper CDs, cheap whiskey, and a porn vending machine. It was one of those rotating light-up arcade machines where DVDs and keychains had clips inside of it, and everything on it was T and A and D and all the other initials for inappropriate things. And oddly, all of the weird stuff I saw in that bar, including the risque images on display in their adult vending machine, the fact that the bar had carpet was what offended me most. No bar should have carpet. I don't care how low pile, stain resistant, or bedbug free it needs to be. It's just a bad idea. I'd seen terrible cover bands at terrible dive bars with my husband and his friends all over Beaver County, Pennsylvania. All of the worst ones seem to be called the blank tavern. Tavern is to bar descriptions what quaint is to real estate descriptions. Where quaint and tavern are meant to make a place sound cozy and rustic, they usually mean a tiny box of horror and stab palettes for special. We went to dive bars in Beaver County because, hello, it's Beaver County. They don't have a fancy Applebee's yet. And we also went to dive bars because that's where Blinding Edge played. Blinding Edge's website was feelthethunder.biz. I'm pretty sure it was a tripod site. They were Western PA's beloved classic rock cover band, and they took pride in not only opening for Kansas once at a state fair, but playing covers as tight as possible. If you close your eyes, it's like Poison or Skid Row's in the room, man. Except don't ever open your eyes, because not one of them looks like a young Bret Michaels or Sebastian Bach, try as they might. It had been a while since they played a local gig, so when they got booked at the State Line Tavern, my husband and the fun-loving guys in his improv troupe decided we should go. The State Line Tavern exists in a lawless land. I'm not sure which side of the Ohio-PA border it's on. The gravel parking lot is huge. Maybe its location makes it above the law, or maybe law enforcement gave up on the place long ago. The only girl in my party, I stayed close to my men. You know how big, strong, and protective improvisers can be. Already, before Blinding Edge even took the stage, greasy, acid-washed jeans-wearing hill jacks were grinding and stumbling on each other in the middle of the smoke-filled dance floor. I made the mistake of asking what was on tap at the bar. Instead, I let the toughest guy in our group take care of my drinks throughout the night. He teaches theater classes to kids. Another mistake, thinking that using the State Line's bathroom was a good idea. As I approached the flimsy door, I could make out faint whimpering noises. I waited for a few minutes, then stumbled backwards as a strung-out girl scratching her arms pushed through the door and disappeared out the back of the room. I can only imagine that she'd just given birth to a meth-soaked toilet baby. At various points throughout the evening, I felt desperate and panicked. Eventually, I realized I wasn't afraid of something bad happening to me. I was just afraid of seeing something horrible. And I was right to be afraid. I was basically witnessing an open casting call for facesofmeth.com. accurate URL, though maybe not as evocative as fieldofthunder.biz. And finally, Lakewood's Richland Cafe is not rich, nor is it a cafe. It has a pool table, darts, and a pop shop machine. If you want to see my obsessive personality and my competitive nature boil to frustrating and socially damaging heights, put me in a bar with a pop shop machine. There are a few types of pop shots. The most common in my experience is a cage set up with a stationary hoop. You shoot for 30 seconds, and in the last 10 seconds, your shots are worth 3 points. Do not miss a shot in the last 10 seconds. The other kind moves the backboard forward and back, so you have to adjust your motion, which is very difficult, especially for a short person. The Richland has the classic style game, no motion. Each time I go to the Richland, I survey the machine. If there are less than 3 balls in the cage, it's not worth playing. You get stuck waiting for them to roll down the chute, and it messes up your rhythm. These are the things I think about in the off-season, which is what I call any time I'm not in a bar. The game costs $1, and I try not to spend more than $5 per visit. If I don't find my rhythm after my second $1, I know it's over. One day at the Richland, I got hot. The high score was something like 72. I was determined to beat it before I finished my PBR pounder. I had 2 friends with me, and that switch inside me flicked on. Then I saw some normal, good-looking guys smiling at me, which I always interpret as condescending, and I knew I had something to prove. I did 4 rounds, getting close, but not over 72 each time. Even with encouragement, even with all the shots making right. Pro tip, always use the glass. I couldn't get there. Finally, I got there. I made almost every single shot. I think my final score was 89. Adrenaline everywhere, shaking hands, slightly sweaty lower back, word PBR, my moment of glory at the Richland Cafe. After my delicious victory, my friends were relieved that I was physically and mentally able to relax with them at the bar. As we sat down, a cocky-looking bro threw a balled-up napkin past my face and into the trash can behind the bar. Nice shot, I said sarcastically. Thanks, he said. Played basketball in college. Actually, I have the high score of the pop shot machine here. Not anymore, I said. Smug as ever. Friends, this is what we played for. We finished our beers and left the all-American douchebag wandering in our wake.
So, I have a poem, but before the poem, I'm going to set the scene a little bit. First thing about the whole diving concept and how when I was a little kid, we used to go to the pool, and I loved going to the pool, and I was fascinated. You know, there's like the little low diving board, you know, where you have to like step half a foot and you run off the end and hardly done anything. And there's the high dive. And I remember when I was a little kid, I was like staring at the high dive and just fascinated by that. And I would see all the other kids run up and then run out the end and whee, off they go. And I would like climb up very carefully and then inch my way out and kind of look over. And sometimes I would take a beautiful, majestic cannonball off the end of that thing. But other times, I'd lean up and peek out and go backwards, back up the diving board, stick my foot down and try to reach the next rung, try not to fall on my ass. And you ever notice how those ladders are really designed for upward and forward motion? Yeah, exactly. Going back down's a bitch. Bad idea. So, and then I thought about, my dad used to do this thing that I loved when I was a little kid. We'd be in the pool, big public pool, and I was pretty little, and he'd put his hands out like this, and I would step on it, and I was, you know, my feet on his hands would go like that, and like launch me up into the air. It was the best feeling ever. And so I was thinking about the joy about that, joy coming out of that. And it's great when your parents are around to help you, but eventually you have to figure out how to do all those things on your own, right? So, this is called Life on the Edges and In-Betweens. Diving is a high wire act, a contract between you and the wind to lift you up, the line between you and the crash. I'll cash in on that promise, honest in its baldness. Liars may be fruitful, if not truthful. You think I'm useful, I'd rather be beautiful. Well, maybe not. Maybe I'd rather be the beauty in your eye, you be the beholder, the unfolder of futures to come. But if I dive into you, will I come out? I live in doubt. Will I live on in memory and truth if I lose my youth to you? Dive like a swan in a pond, a bear on a dare, a whale, Ahab hot on his tail. Are these things running to or from? I'm numb from the wondering. I'm dancing from foot to foot on the shore, wondering if there is more than I can see from here. The unknown, seeds unsown, rotting in my pocket, the locket of hope my parents gave me, does it enslave me or set me free? You can be anything, they say. I dread I will not live up to that utterance. My governance of self is tight. I take fright from straying off the path of what is right. As a little kid, it was cool. It was okay to play the fool. I had some leeway to mess up. I was the one eating chocolate bunnies and shunning ketchup. A picky eater, a follower, not a leader. But nowadays, it's be all you can be. The world is your oyster. Hard to believe that from the cloister I've shut myself in. Perfection is its own kind of sin, and I'm as guilty as anyone. Rather than choose wrongly, I chose not to choose at all. How can I fall if I stay here in the dark? The only mark of life on me, the march of time, on my cells, in this prison cell, this hell of indecision I created and debated whether to leave. My worst nightmare is that one day I'll be aware, wake up, and realize I've idolized the precision of indecision, the pinpoint wavering, floating on the in-between, and see that I have spent all my life unseen and unseeing and unbeing. There is no guaranteeing life without repeating mistakes, the retakes, the heartaches, the accidental fruitcakes and subsequent toothaches make us what we are. A human has to act in order to be, not fleeing the scene of a life. Today I choose. Yes, I can lose the solid ground beneath my feet, the solemn grounding if I leap unbidden into the air. But out there, oh, out there I can fly. A lot like Icarus, I can touch the sky, but this time it's all right. I got the power of knowledge behind me, beneath me, and the insight it bequeaths me. I know who I am by what I do, and I am through with doing nothing.
This time, I would like to take a moment to vent about the apps that let people announce the details of their workouts. Buffy just ran 7.2 miles at a 6-minute 50-second pace in really tiny shorts. Here's the thing, I'm glad for Buffy that she is healthy, but I really don't give a shit. And also, it always happens that I'm stuffing my face with chips when one of these special newsfeed announcements pops up. I guess I'm just jealous that there isn't an app that can keep people in constant awareness of my own health habits. Like, I want an app that counts the number of cookies I eat, where I eat them, and how freaking fast I eat them. Julie just ate 15 Oreos on her couch in under 7 minutes. That's the kind of close I want to have. Then they can click on the map to see my route from the kitchen to the couch. I want it to be able to track when I have a personal record, too. Julie got a PR with 2 bowls of ice cream in 10 minutes. I don't ask for a lot. So that's my Facebook complaint for this story. Now to the word dive. I've lived in a lot of dives. There was the apartment above a pharmacy in college. It was filthy, had no lock, and the pharmacist was eventually arrested for dealing drugs. But it was the cool place to live, until it got condemned while we were living there. There was the crappy 1.5-bedroom Lakewood apartment that my husband and I and his damn iguana lived in the year my mother, Terry, tried to kill herself. Now don't get uncomfortable. I would give her a B+ for dramatics and a D for effort. You have to really mean it, Terry. Anyway, the biggest dive I ever lived in was my childhood home with my parents and the aforementioned Terry. It is in a nice suburb, which I will not name because I don't want you to associate what I'm about to tell you with this nice little suburb. The house. It was 3 bedrooms and 1 bath. There was a random balcony that came off the 2nd floor bathroom, and its flooring was always about to give way to the kitchen. So we couldn't really eat breakfast out there. Plus, it's gross to walk your eggs through a bathroom first. There was an unfinished basement that my father was always in the process of finishing, sort of. He got some crappy faux wood paneling that went halfway up the wall, and then a couch off someone's lawn. That's really where the great basement remodel ended. Good enough for us and our ColecoVision. Wait, there was also a little half bath down there, but there were no walls, just the toilet and sink out in the open. So you had to tell everyone to stand the other side of the basement while you peed, but no one did that because it's too much fun to point and laugh at someone while they're trapped on a toilet. It's all coming back to me now, horrible flashes. I eventually moved my room into the basement because my sister and I had a difference of opinion about everything. You might think my parents finished the remodel then, when their oldest daughter started using it as a living space, but you you would be wrong. The new bedroom remained complete, with its cement floor and curtains full of spiders. But it meant a certain amount of privacy, as long as no one peeked in the ground level windows. I didn't think the house could get much worse, but it decayed right alongside my parents' marriage. Doors broke and it didn't get fixed. The dishwasher stopped working, so we used it for storage instead. But mostly it just collected a layer of dirt and cigarette smoke all over it that was hard to shake off when we left the house, which I eventually did for good, as did my brother and sister. I never really even stopped back in to say hi. If I did, I would report back to my brother and sister with an estimate for the thickness of the shower mold. Then Terry went and sort of tried to kill herself. Remember the Lakewood dive I was living at the time? Anyway, this launched a series of events that would eventually lead me to the best house on the west side. Terry was going to divorce Bill and try to live with us, which we didn't let happen. The 1.5 bedroom dive actually worked out to my benefit there. The iguana would have protested anyway. She ended up in some other apartment, but Bill was left to the house. Now this may have been the time to clean it up and sell it. But Bill, well, he's a generous drunk. Not with his family, but with any of his down-on-their-luck friends. I mean, a 3-bedroom house, well, 4-bedroom with a basement suite. It shouldn't go to waste. And so I started hearing about the people who were staying with him. My siblings, who intelligently moved out of state, had a small list of items they wanted me to recover before the squatters got to them. So I drove over one day for the recon mission. My father meets me at the door. Hey, Julie, you'll never guess what Nancy has staying with us. Well, yes, I could guess what no bra Nancy has staying with us, because I could see it from the door. There, laying in the dining room, where the buffet once stood, was a giant pig. Yes, a pig. I don't know if it was a potbelly pig. I thought those were supposed to be small. This was enormous. She just watched it for one of her kids. Great, right? What the fuck? Did I just enter the Twilight Zone? I guess they could just toss table scraps right onto the floor without leaving their seats down. That's a bonus. I just need to get a few things from upstairs for Dan. I used my brother as an excuse because my dad likes him best. I left the pig rolling on the dining room floor and dashed up the steps. I checked my sister's closet for yearbooks, random photos, and any incriminating notes from junior high. Hey, I might as well get something out of this. Then I ran across the hall to my brother's old room. I crossed through into his closet. Sure, I would find at least a few of his baseball card binders. But bam! A blinding light, and a smell that burned off my nostril hairs. As soon as my eyes adjusted, I was eyeball to creepy eyeball with a giant iguana. My brother's closet had been turned into an iguana habitat. For a second, I thought I heard God laughing, like he was having some kind of Ashton Kutcher pump moment. I made a mental note to do something sacrilegious at a later date. I quickly closed the closet door and backed out of the room. It was time to go. I headed out with my goods and didn't look back, except when Bill did eventually sell the house and I had to help him move his giant porn collection. But that's another disturbing story. So there's my dive. Yes, I realize there are 2 iguanas in the story, and no, I will not give you my therapist's number because I might need her again, and I'm not waiting in line behind 2 nut jobs. Also, I hope you can better understand now why I could use an out for my emotional eating. There are some memories that can only be blacked out with a hot fudge sundae, and Buffy needs to know how the other half did.
First 32nd birthday, I don't remember exactly what it was. It was somewhere in my early 30s because I still had hair. And my wife gave me one of the best presents I could have ever gotten. She gave me diving glasses. And by diving, I mean scuba diving, not like swimming pool diving. Although I like that too. And my kids have been on dive teams. When they were little, they were on dive teams. They were like 8, 6, and 4. And because when you're that little, you have no fear. They just go off the high dive like nothing. And diving was so much better than, first they started on swim teams. And swim teams, there's like a swim meet is so noisy. And they start off everything they should have done. So beeping, and then a million parents going, "Go! Go!" And the kids can't hear at all. Water and that's a swim meet, and then we switch to diving, and here's your typical dive meet. Read the paper. Every now and then you look up, oh, there's another. And they go, Elena Jaffe. Oh. They go golf. So we really appreciated that kind of diving. But for me, it was scuba. And it was the late 80s, and I was doing stand-up comedy on a semi-regular basis, and that included working on cruise ships and going to resorts in the Caribbean. And what better thing to do on my free days in a port than go for a dive? I loved it, and I could have written a book about all my dives. Actually, I did write a book about all my dives. It's a log book. Everybody, the diver's log book. After each dive, I'd write details of the dive so that I remember the dive in all its glory. and I mentioned the names of the people I was with or that I met or the name of the dive shop. That's always important. You got to write down the name of the dive shop because if you have a good experience, you'll want to book with them again. So, let's see, here's one. Bob Soto's diving in Grand Cayman. Yeah, I mean, it was great. And you say how far the depth and how long you're on the bottom. And every March I put down things that I saw. So here I saw a turtle, spaghetti coral, and I fed the fish with peas. I petted an angelfish, and all these other fish were nibbling at me. So you'd think I would remember that, but I don't. I mean, after doing like 50 dives later, every dive is great, but they don't stand out unless there's a story to go with it or something unique happened on the dive. Like one in Cancun, I remember where I got to pet a nurse shark. There was a shark that had a quiet hangout that the dive master always knew, and remember that dive. Or the next day I went diving and it was rough seas on a boat, and I'm going out to our dive location, and I just was puking my guts out. And I remember standing on the edge about to go jump into the water, and I had all my gear on, and I'm ready, and I'm getting sick again, and they hand me a bag last second just before I'm going to jump in the water. Jump in. And once you're under the water, it was great. It was nothing. I mean, because there's no waves underwater. It was great. I was just singing the whole time I was down there. I was singing La Bamba because of the line. I just kept thinking of the line in Spanish, "Yo no soy marinero," which means I am not a sailor. Which I was fairly confident of after the way I was puking up above. I do tend to sing underwater when I'm diving off the sea. Under the sea. Under the sea, yeah, everything's better. Down where it's wetter. I'm in a great mood when I'm underwater because if you get your buoyancy right, it's the closest thing to being able to fly. You just like a little tilt of your head, and you go here, you go flipper there, and off this way. And I remember night dives also because I've only done a few of those. One, the dive master caught a lobster, and it wasn't hard to catch. He just picked it up off the ground. And we took it back to the resort and cooked it up, and it was the best lobster I ever had. To be honest, I don't know why it was so much better, because most of the times in a restaurant, when you order lobster, they're just picking it out of the tank there, but I guess those lobsters probably got jet lag or something. Ruins the taste, I don't know why. I remember diving in Lake Erie. We explored the wreck of the John B. Lyons, which is a wooden ship that went down. It was from the 1880s or 90s, got caught in a storm, a sudden late summer storm, and left only 2 survivors. The wife of the captain and the wife of the first mate. They're the only women on board. Tied them to the mast and broke off the mast and put it in the water, and they actually floated to safety, ended up in Ashtabula, which at the time was safe. I also remember diving in White Star Quarry, which is near Findlay, Ohio. That's where I got certified, as did my kids, who are now certified. It's an old quarry that used to belong to Pfizer, I think. If I remember correctly, they used the limestone there to make some drug, and eventually abandoned it. It was filled with, later filled with water, but there were all kinds of things left on the bottom. Let's see. I saw a motorcycle, a boat, a Ruffles delivery truck, a police cruiser, which I assume, like, the police were just chasing after the Ruffles delivery truck, and that the guy was going, "Oh my God, what do they want me for?" And they really just wanted some data check. And flew off into the port. And the cops just went after it and those were there. So, that's just a theory. So it was great to get so many different places in the Caribbean and Hawaii, and one of my favorites was Bermuda. I was there for 2 weeks. The island's famous for, it's on shorts and onions, and the dive was okay there, but it was nothing special. I remember Bermuda for going to a different kind of dive. It's easy to have fun on land there since there's a limited number of cars on Bermuda. They don't allow cars really, and everyone gets around on motorcycle scooters. And I never driven one before, but I rented one for 2 weeks that travel around the 21 square miles of the island. They have great beaches, and there's 2 big towns. I remember picking up my girlfriend, who was later to become my wife, at the airport in a scooter and trying to hold on to her luggage on the back when she came to visit the second week I was there. The week before she got there, though, I realized that I desperately needed a haircut. Remember, this was when I had hair. There was a salon on one of the upscale shopping drags in the upscale touristy city of Hamilton, where the comedy club was located. But it was a little too frou-frou for me, and they wanted the equivalent of like $80 for a haircut. And no way was I paying that. I didn't think they asked the people who worked at the club for a local barber. I just opened the phone book and saw only 3 listed on the island. One was this fancy salon I'd inquired at. One sounded kind of fancy, as was in St. George's, which was all the way on the other end of the island. And one was called Ricky's Barber Shop and was about a 10-minute scooter ride away. I called and asked if they had any openings later that day. They said, come on in. I followed the directions and found myself in a part of Bermuda that I don't think many tourists see. The colorful homes built into the hillsides behind gates and walls weren't a part of this Bermuda. These were ramshackle homes and businesses jumbled together. It was like inner city Cleveland, just without the concrete. Instead, there was greenery and ocean views for everyone. But the place I walked into, Ricky's, was a dive. There was one barber chair from the 1930s and a bunch of folding or plastic mold chairs around the medium-sized single room. The only thing I remember being on the walls were some strange instruments that I assumed had something to do with barbering in the Middle Ages. There were probably a half dozen men hanging around in there, and yes, they were all black. Bermuda is about 55% black, but this neighborhood was probably 100% black. And I was probably the first non-government white person to walk in there. This presented a dilemma. If I walked out, would that be racist of me? I mean, I wasn't judging them by their skin, I was judging them by their hair. And their hair was nothing like my hair. I didn't know if they had any experience with white boy hair. And if I didn't walk out, how bad would I look for the next 3 months before my hair grew back? I asked if any of them were Ricky, and a guy in his 30s volunteered that he was Ricky. He asked if I was the guy who called. I said yes, realizing that for the past 15 minutes they'd probably been having a big laugh at some white American called to come get a haircut. He offered me the barber chair, and I felt obliged. I came all this way, might as well finish the job. He threw the bib over me, snapped it, asked what I wanted, which was at that point a lot less than I'd originally intended. I said, just a trim, and he pulled out a shaver. Other than to get the hair on the back of my neck or trim my sideburns, no one had ever used a shaver on me before. I asked, don't you use scissors? He said, we don't have scissors. Right, why would a barber shop always have scissors? Have you ever cut a white guy's hair before? He swore he had, and that he didn't need scissors to do a good job. I couldn't leave at that point, so I put my faith in Ricky and let him do to me what he would. It was not a good. Of course, it was the equivalent of only $5. So I opened the show each evening for the rest of my run by telling the audience that I had gone to Ricky's for a haircut. The locals all cracked up. I turned around and asked if he had carved Ricky into the back of my head. About half of them said that he had, and I had a wonderful week there with a stupid haircut. So if you're ever in Bermuda, I can recommend a good dive shop. You don't even need to know how to dive to appreciate Ricky's.
Yeah. They sold all your porn to this bar. Your huge collection is now in this machine. People can rent your porn. It's what you've always wanted.
I always wanted to share
Make
it.
money from your porn. 25 cents
It was too
for DVD.
It was too beautiful to keep to myself, and I don't know how to put it on the internet.
Yeah, change for $1.
Well,
The
what's
first
gonna
customer.
happen?
The first customer.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Sir, did you, here, here's some wipes.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions on any particular movie, sir? I didn't execute the plots.
Yeah, so The Sixth Sense is an actual title. Is that a play on something?
No, that's just got mixed in.
Okay, alright, I'm gonna skip that then.
There is a porn version of it, though.
Yeah, The Sixth Spec.
Yeah.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
Alright.
There's a seventh spec, which is a sequel to that. It's not a plan or anything, it continues the story of this.
When you have something as successful as The Sixth Spec, you need to make a sequel. Alright.
Where you spec again.
Sir, stop trying to tell me about this one. Right here. It appears the title's in Braille. It's behind glass, so I can't feel it out.
That's actually the name of it.
I can't feel it out.
more. I guess
Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you.
I don't know. I mean, can you do something?
I can jump.
Well, that and a bag of chips.
You talk.
When you described yourself as an American Idol Bo Bice lookalike, that wasn't really what I expected. You got less hair, more tattoos, and a little bit more girth. I'm just saying, live up to your profile. I said I was dowdy.
On Facebook, when you said that you went running 5 miles a day, I guess I expected a little bit more. I've been watching your updates. This is
Well, I'm sorry.
wholeheartedly disappointing.
5 miles is a long ways to run.
Right, you think it would carve something out a little bit more.
It's there. It's waiting.
When you described yourself as a white trash Buddha, you're exactly what you described yourself as. This is awesome. This is brilliant.
Woo! Bachelor party!
Break out the penis hats!
Okay, and I ingested too many of those penis Twinkies. Oh man! Hey guys, who wants to spin? Who wants to play pin the hose on the fireman?
Me!
You guys, I know that we're all males here at this bachelor party, and like the penis innuendos make sense to me, but wouldn't it make more sense if we had more like, you know, female genitalia?
I got this covered.
I mean, I feel comfortable with my sexuality.
I feel comfortable with mine. 100% fine with this.
I'm just fond of penises and their candies.
The penis is also inferred that you're gonna get it on right after you
Yeah.
get married.
Hopefully not with guys, though.
I know, it's your dick.
You pin the hose in the fireman because that hose is your hose and it's big. And that fireman wants to hold it. This has been so good. I can't believe we've been friends since college. Candace is a lucky woman. You're a catch. Thank you. You're a catch. You're a catch wearing a penis hat.
Yeah, you're a catch. But just so
Man, this thing's got a lot of weight in it.
I'm just saying, Mom, I don't need God, okay? I have faith in Ricky.
Well, I think Ricky's an excellent person
Deity,
to go to with your problems, but I think if you could
spiritual leader,
I think if you could share more with me instead of in this journal with Ricky.
religious life coach.
I've spent 18 years with you. I pay for all your bills. And I learned in your journal of all places that you've been telling Ricky everything about yourself.
When you lose your virginity, you don't go to your mom, you go to Ricky.
I bet you he's carved his name on you.
Maybe. You have less back hair and more love.
You're never gonna go waxing with me again, are you now?
That's what this is about, okay?
I've lost my waxing partner.
You know who makes an excellent waxing partner? Vicky, Ricky's wife.
You wax with a woman named Vicky.
No, I'm saying you can. I shaved my back with Ricky. Don't try to change me.
I'm not gonna wax with just anybody. I'm gonna have to give birth to another child to wax with them. You don't just wax with people, you have to know people, wax with people. Christ.
Vicky's certified in hugging.
You've been hugged by a woman named Vicky?
No, I hang out with Ricky. I'm just telling you what Ricky tells me about Vicky.
I'm sorry.
She is 100% certified in hugging, so
That's really cool.
just tell your mom.
Yeah. 100%. You know, some people are 60%, but she's 100%.
I tell you who this Vicky person is. This Vicky person is probably a meth addict who's probably had 2 babies in the toilet.
She has had 3 meth babies in the toilet. It was the same toilet.
That's like having 3 meth babies from the same guy.
It's like baptism immediately after birth.
Okay, I'm gonna do it.
Alright, man. Just do it. Hey, believe in yourself.
Jump already, come on, there's other kids on the ladder.
Everybody wants you to do it. The wind's cold on my wet skin. You don't want me to push you, do you?
Jeez,
Dude, you push me, it's gonna hurt.
It's gonna hurt you, bro. It's gonna hurt you.
Stop breathing on my neck.
I can't. There's literally no more space on this diving board.
Just lock your knees and jump in straight.
You
Either
always
extend your elbows and fall.
I can see a mountain.
make a decision.
Don't lock your knees, Reggie, you'll faint.
You told me to lock my knees. And you're telling me not to.
Just lock one of them and unlock the other.
Point your toes in different directions.
Just make sure you don't go butt first, because that hurts.
Yeah,
You can split your butt in half.
Make sure you point your heels in opposite directions.
have you ever had an enema? Then go butt first.
Pin your ears back so they don't fall off.
Be careful you don't land on your stomach, that also
I
hurts.
just want to.
Hey, man, there's not room on this diving board.
Listen, we gotta back up.
Hey, is there more room on this diving board? No, you fool! You fool! Go back down! Go back down the diving board! They don't work! Go back down! You can't go down! It only goes one way!
Guys, this situation has become unsafe. All right? I don't know.
We're all coming up! No! You're going back down!
No, we gotta go.
And 3 people died that day. Because of unsafe diving board regulations. So I'm here.
You want to look at my pool?
Yeah.
You want to look at my pool? Like, I don't know how to run a pool. Like, I haven't run this pool for 30 years in the kids' neighborhood, and all of a sudden 3 kids died. All of a sudden,
Hey, I see a problem already just from the gate here.
hey, it says swim at your own risk. Let me get out of jail free card.
He's got a 9-inch knife sticking out of him.
He was at the bottom.
What kind of shot were you running here?
Look, who swims to the bottom of the pool to get a knife? That's where you keep it. It's chlorinated.
What?
Just a gentle nurse shark.
You have a magical talking nurse shark.
Yeah. Can I have some band-aids?
An amphibious nurse shark.
Yeah.
Good thing that knife was at the bottom of the pool.
That separates me from the kids.
I'm gonna complain, Mr. Johnson, but I got instant chlamydia and scabies.
Jeez, killer! Oh my God. Good. On the bright side, she doesn't have chlamydia or scabies anymore. We took care of that. This way she's not a spreader anymore. Save yourself, man. This is a war zone.
I can't. I have to do my job.
No, you shut down this pool. I'll just open up another pool. It'll be a wave pool. No. It's down more dangerous because kids get sucked into the wave apparatus. I'll do it because I hate the kids in town.
I figure there's not enough room for you on the memorial brick.
I think it's also, it counts, the sentiment that you tried,
Sediment, it was made
Yeah,
of sediment.
I mean, people should, stop kicking gift horses. You did something nice. And
I made a brick!
everyone's complaining
My
about
dad killed 40 people and I made a brick! If that's not love,
You know what they did to that girl who made, the Vietnam Memorial? They never accepted that either. And
I did not know that.
They
I
didn't
didn't know it was a girl even who made it.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of people on that AIDS quilt.
Yeah.
Yo no soy marinero. Yo no soy marinero.
Okay, let's have a talk. Sorry, I'm just with my family and the kids are
Dios mío! Yo no soy marinero. Hey, soy capitán. Soy capitán. Capitano.
Dad, can I get a taco? I'm starving.
Yeah, hey, give me a second, Billy. I'm trying to order. Listen, can I get a taco for the kid, please?
Chúpelo, soy capitán. Yeah, soy Tony Manero.
I think we like Tony Manero.
Soy Manero.
Can we hold the Manero on it? I don't know.
Hey, but primavera.
Alright, I think we're in an Italian place. Billy, I hate being embarrassed in front of you since I'm your father, but I think we accidentally went to an Italian place.
It's okay.
Hey, soy marinera.
And I said no, marinara, man. I said,
Pimento.
oh wait, that was Tony Manero. Listen, I'm sorry, Billy just fell apart.
Sorry, you cannot get a teeth cleaning here. This is a podiatrist's office.
No, Billy, sorry, being your father, I feel really embarrassed that I'm going to take you to the dentist, but we went to the foot doctor. Alright, can I, you have a special deal? what, can I at least redeem my Groupon for something?
I'm sorry, I'm an OBGYN. I don't think
So
I
we
can
can't get a taco?
I can't help
It's like we're flying. Like we're flying. But we're not underwater. There's water on us.
You know, if you just stay here, it's like you're just chilling underwater.
Chilling underwater.
You can actually put yourself in the lazy boy position underwater.
Hey guys, the aquarium's been closed for 7 days. I'm sorry, I don't want to be a... I had a lot of issues with kids getting high on PCP and thinking it's okay to hang out.
Hey, it said touch pool, so I want to touch. But I wanted to touch the ones in the middle.
Okay, well, why don't you go touch the parking meter out on the street? That's pretty way to blow your mind.
What's it feel like?
It feels like a parking meter, so slightly metallic and full of change.
I haven't touched that before.
Well, get ready to be amazed.
Tell me how it touches. Does it touch back?
I don't think it touches back.
When you put your hands on the water by the meter, do this. Does the meter come to you? Does it like to eat fish?
Alright, get the hell out of here.
April Fools! I don't really do origami! I was just lying! No! I'm just so excited to see it done! This isn't even real paper! It's scrap metal! You can't fold scrap metal! But if I could, I'd make you a swan!
That swan would be the sharpest swan ever. This is metal. And it was rust.
It'd be really pretty if I made origami, but April Fools, I don't!
April Fools! I was gonna take you out to dinner, but I didn't bring my wallet.
Hey, imagine that. Love you too.
Fantastic.
Got it.
All right.
April Fools! You're Cedar Point's parking lot! Boo! They're going home. Get in the car.
April Fools! It's Applebee's! Deal with it! It sucks!
April Fools, you wound up in Ashton Beulah.
April Fools! Mommy didn't really kill herself!
So close. You child enough.
Aw.
What's up?
April Fools, I cut your hair with nothing like Bo Ice.
Fail.
I know.
Girl, I've been on a boat from Canada all day. It's tough out there on the seas. Have you ever been in the middle of Lake Erie?
No.
Far from anything.
I'll give you $5 if you name the freighter.
Yeah, it's the Mary Louise Parker.
I was getting confused with that other freighter.
Yeah,
Somebody ordered some Natty Lights.
that's right. One for me, one for Lady. Here's $1. Keep the change.
Wow, you guys are big.
Yeah, I'm a sailor. So, you ever been a beautiful Canadian sailor before?
If you count right now, yeah.
Then you know what you're in for.
Sorta. I was, you know, if it's gonna be massages and natty light and freighter games, I know what I'm in for. But if you got things that are more dangerous than freighter games, I'm a little bit confused.
There's a lot of dangerous freighter games.
Now I'd like everyone to welcome the stylings of the Acoustic 311 cover band.
Woo!
I'm just gonna keep my eyes closed.
Play my favorite 311 song.
All mixed up, don't know what to do. Think turn around and find a person as
You know the real 311 is actually Canadian.
They have a freighter named after that.
Alright, everybody, come on. Sales are down. Let's start spitballing some ideas here. Now, I appreciated the Disney-themed one, but Natty Mice is not going to work for me.
I think kids would like that.
I agree with you, Gerald, but kids is not a primary demographic.
Are you sure?
I'm positive. Lawmakers will say otherwise.
So I think that what we got to play off of is called natural light, and our source of natural light is the sun. So let this natural light burn your ass.
The sun is the star. It is the star of the beer cooler. I call it Polaris the North Star. Let it guide your home drunk.
Spitball.
I got one!
Yes, Denise.
Natty fight! If you drink enough, people will punch you.
That's fair, but I think most beers could kind of follow on this.
How about we just put the price on the can. You just put the price on the can.
It's
That's
so
what you want the slogan to be. Literally put the price on the
No.
can.
Now you're like, $1.
dumb.
You're like, shit, it's $1. Now buy it.
It's so cheap. Why not?
It's so cheap, why not?
It's so
Okay.
cheap. Why not?
I got one! I got one!
Yeah, okay.
Natty, right wing. If you get drunk enough and get baby, we're not going to give you an abortion.
You get babies for being drunk.
Wait, what? Oh, so you're, yes.
Natty Light, 0 abortions included.
Oh, okay. Oh,
You know
we
what?
turned that
I
up.
like the ideas, but we just reel it back here a little bit.
Water.
We're drinking beer up here, so go.
No, Natty Light, no abortions.
That was still the same as Michael's.
Natty Light, meth babies coming alive.
What?
Woo!
I got one. Natty White for people who don't.
I like where she's going.
Natty Slight.
Whoops.
Whoa. If we own our own mistake, we can laugh at ourselves.
Alright.
That's-
Natty Slight.
We
Right?
did it.
Past tense.
Oh.
But it's slightly stale.
Is that like when a guy that's dressed up in a tuxedo, like,
Oh, God! Hold on! Natty Light, no drunken date rape happening tonight.
I don't think we can
Hey,
guarantee
right.
that.
We can put that on the top.
nope. No, I will not come down from here. I will jump when I am ready.
Oh, Christ.
I will jump! To my doom!
And then you got heard that as a line.
No, I cannot. This is the most important and last moment of my life.
Other people want to kill themselves too.
Well, maybe you should come during normal pool season when it hasn't been drained yet.
Lock your knees.
You know I'll pass out!
It's the most painful way to go. You break your legs all the way up.
That sounds very dramatic.
You don't want your knees to slightly cushion the floor. You might live.
Yeah, Dad, if you're gonna do it, you gotta go all the way this time.
Hey man, I'm starting to get less depressed.
Head first, one hand up, other hand rubbing your belly. Prove it can be done.
Yes.
Here, Dad, I'll get the camera out.
Okay. Now for my soliloquy. You only live once, and once you live. Someone give me a rhyme. I can't rhyme.
You don't have any time.
Dad.
That part of the soliloquy.
You should blast out some sublime.
Hey man, you know what? The beauty of your soliloquy has made me reconsider killing myself.
No, that was not the point!
And actually, if this makes you happy, if this habitat makes you happy, if you need a heat lamp, if it needs to be constantly 98 degrees in our closet, I will keep my dresses on the bed or under the bed.
I know a really good 98 degrees acoustic cover band. I thought we were sharing.
Listen to your daughter.
Excuse me, miss, you can't just keep walking in people's houses. It's very unsettling, and it's your local neighborhood police officer.
You get to walk into people's houses.
I do, but I have
This
a gun.
isn't your.
I want to
If
hear what...
that's the problem, I
I want
can
to hear
walk
what...
in
I want to hear what band she's going to recommend. Yeah, can we please put the fire out, being that you took off the old plastic tip.
But you mean both of us, because I don't do royal we's. So you put yours down and I'll put mine down.
Okay.
Put down your gun. I want to see what she's going to do.
You are not helping this situation.
Can you please just ask your daughter to put the gun down?
No, she's never been this interesting to me before.
You know this guy reminds me of
Terrible
the
relationship.
wonderful Guns N' Roses acoustic band I heard last night.
Still doing it, huh?
Yeah.
Alright, I'm going to slowly
Yeah.
put down my fire. It's easy to... Well, if you're not going to do it,
All you need is a little patience, am I right, honey?
You're right, you're right. You know,
Channel 5 News, we're here between a standoff between a police officer and a young woman, and nobody brought the bag of ruffles.
Alright, can we just... If you put it down, I promise I'll put mine down right after you. I need you to
I
put
need
your...
some assurance.
I don't sell shorts, can I?
Have they hired us yet?
We're a pole dancing, gun-toting cover band. Pole
Your own
dances
problems.
and I'm
Incarceration wouldn't do anything for you, listen. Oh, we just call the whole thing.
Welcome to Ye Tavern, darts, pool, Febreze carpeted.
This song is so
anywhere. This should be like where you test your immune system.
And 37 people died in that bar.
But not me.
No, you have a very strong immune system.
I know. When am I never get up on your wall?
This is me testing you for something.
Oh.
Don't be alarmed.
I'm not.
If it feels wrong, it's
I'm not.
right.
I think I have a weak liver.
Can you do this while rubbing your belly? It's never been proven.
No, apparently I can't. But I can't.
That means you're healthy. It means you're
actually.
healthy, yeah. If you do that, that's what happens right before you see the light at the end of the tunnel. They just
Is
rub.
the liver getting boring?
I don't know what you're saying.
I want to know if I get if it's the tunnel where I get to
I think
get
you might have had a
boring.
concussion.
No.
Which doesn't usually happen on Febreze card. But on Febreze card, but sure you get a concussion every now and then. But Febreze card, that never happens, you know, because of the smell. People bounce back from that shit. It's a sense memory thing. Yeah.
I just wanted to clarify because there's.
I found a spot. Yeah.
No more.
Yeah, no, it's just a tight muscle. You're okay. You should just relax, you know, like stressed out.
Alright.
It's not that lowers your immune system next time.
Oh.
You guys are all out of copies of Forrest Gump.
Yeah, but I appreciate your love of early 90s porn. And recent-er selections than that. Les Mis Alramia. Russell Crowe's much better than the board version, trust me. He delivers in a way.
I just remember.
Do you guys have Jurassic Prick?
It's hard. This machine, it will have it. And with the glasses included, but you gotta give me 6 months.
Clean glasses?
Yeah. That happens. Yeah.
Is there?
Listen, I want my money back for this braille. It was just all black and just moaning.
Are you saying you're racist? I particularly like black and moaning.
I want to see it. I don't want to see a black screen. Oh my god! And that's it. What's up with the noises?
Totally agree.
I'm sorry. I just after your audio description of it, I'm feeling a little tinny. Yeah, right. It was like really
Is it the fumes
nice.
off the Febreze?
When you advertise that you have a Steven Spankberg section, you really need to come through.
Okay, we try to do his lesser known films.
Oh, you
like,
got Empire of the Dick.
Exactly. 1940 Tube and Lube.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a classic, underly rated film.
Well, you got that one that was a knockoff of Duel. Dick. What do you do with Duel? I mean, really?
It's hard. One word, it's a little known fact, but one word titles are the hardest to make fake films. Think about it. Anyone yet? Oh, I wasn't even going there. That was good.
Have you thought of writing it?
I should.
Where's the Spielberg section? They have always fucking. No.
Sure. No.
Picked over.
No, yeah, it's a popular kind of thing. We do have a lot in the Rob Reiner section. I can guarantee you.
Well, I'm sorry, guys. I'm late to killing myself in an empty pool. So, it's nice meeting everybody. I'm going to kill myself, so don't let me know if you have Jurassic Prick.
And